Yo, Mike from Pure Hustle Podcast here, and this is a special episode because today in this video, I'm going to be starting the first of hopefully a long series where I dig into reselling used tools. Now, I'm pretty familiar with reselling clothes and shoes, board games, hard goods, electronics, a lot of different things, a lot of different niches, but I know for a fact that I've been leaving a lot of money on the table when it comes to tools. In fact, I would say at least 30 to 40% of the garage sales I go to have some tools. Some of them are almost exclusively tools. When I go to swap meet, there's tools. Pawn shops have tools. There's tools everywhere. And to be honest, I pretty much just walk right past them because I didn't grow up around tools. I didn't grow up working on things. I wasn't a handyman or a son of a handyman. So it's kind of like a foreign language to me. And so I've realized that I'm leaving a lot of money on the table. I want to be able to make more money on in my reselling career and business. So I said, you know what? I'm going to learn tools. This year I'm going to spend a bunch of time researching tools, buying tools, selling tools, and kind of honing my craft. And I wanted to make a video series to kind of walk you through that process and so you can kind of learn along with me. Now, I usually buy tools from like Harbor Freight, and those are called knuckle busters for a reason. I actually just recently was working with a ratchet wrench on something, and the piece broke out, and it was pretty bad. Luckily, I didn't actually bust my knuckles up, but I'm starting to learn the value of having good tools, and so it's kind of cool to learn this as I go, and I'm going to kind of start replacing my own tools. So if you're already an expert, if you're already somebody who's selling lots of used tools, you might watch these first few videos in this series and say, this is very basic, this is very beginner level. And that's kind of what I want it to be. I want this video to be for people who are like me, that maybe don't know a lot about tools, that want to learn, that want to break into selling used tools and really don't know where to start. And if you are an expert and you have sold lots and lots of tools in the past, I'd actually ask for you to watch and comment below and help us learn together. So as we move through this series, we can hopefully kind of grow together and become better tool sellers on eBay. Now, one of the things I just want to kind of think about for myself on this, and this is something I learned a while back, is there's kind of 4 stages of competency. And the 4 stages go something like this. You start off being unconsciously incompetent, meaning you don't even know how much you don't know. It's just this kind of nebulous thing out there, whatever the new skill, whatever the new trade you're learning. And that's where we all kind of start. And as we begin to perform more and as time goes, we get to a place where we're consciously incompetent, where we actually start to recognize how much we don't know. And we're starting to move towards progression at that point. Then we move to the conscious competence portion, which is where you actually have quite a bit of competency, but it takes effort and energy and you're still working at it. And then eventually the experts that put in the 10,000 plus hours, they've been doing it their whole life, they kind of have that intuition. They just know. They don't even have to necessarily look up and research comps on things. They kind of just know, like, these are good, these aren't, because I've seen them 100 times or I've seen things like them. So I don't think that I'm going to ever be at the unconsciously competent part of tools as a tool seller, but maybe after years of doing this, if it's something I like and it's very profitable. But my goal is hopefully by the end of the year to get as close to consciously competent as possible, to be able to quickly identify valuable tools and know different types of tools that I don't know right now. So let's look at a couple of Bellow brands. Now, so these are pretty popular. If you've already been selling tools for a while or grew up around tools, you've probably heard of all of these. If you're like me, the only one I had heard of was Snap-on and Craftsman, right? These other ones, I mean Crescent, I guess. But we've got, these are some pretty popular brands. We've got Snap-on, Matco Tools, Mac Tools, Craftsman, Crescent Tools, SK Tools, Proto Tools. So any of these that you see, it should be a red flag, or maybe a green flag, I guess we should say. But it's an indicator that you should do a little bit of research. There's some tools that you can, I say, the same with clothing or things like that. Take a look around Walmart and take a look around Harbor Freight and look at the brands that they're selling and stay away from those, right? Same thing with shoes. If I know a shoe brand sells at Walmart, I'm not picking it up at a thrift store. So these are popular brands, but these are definitely not all of them. But one thing a lot of these brands have in common is they're made in the USA. And USA brand tools are more valuable than Chinese tools or sometimes other tools. Now, this isn't a hard and fast rule. As I've been doing research, I've noticed that there are a lot of really good tools, especially unique wood crafting tools coming out of Germany and Japan. And a lot of these tools that I'm starting to see, even at garage sales, that are Japanese tools, German tools, even some American tools, I don't even know what they do. And so I'm learning these things as I go. But a kind of good general rule of thumb is if you see a tool that says made in the USA, it's probably good. But it'd be a good idea to at least get these basic tools. I saw a lot of craftsmen this last week when I was out at garage sales and I was at swap meets. I didn't see any of the others. Oh no, I saw some SK, but I didn't even know to look for Proto. I wasn't even looking for Mac tools at the time. So next time I'm out, I'm going to be looking for more of these. So keep an eye on these. Now, an example of another brand that's not on here that sold, but it was made in USA. So I picked up this vernier caliper. And again, I didn't even know what this was when I bought this. I'll show comp up on the screen. But I paid, I think I talked the guy down to $2 for this. And I looked it up. And the reason I looked it up, and I didn't know what it was, I was kind of just picking up tools. And I saw that this said made in the USA. Has a little made in the USA on it. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to look this up because it might be worth something. And sure enough, they're selling, anywhere from $10 to $20. And so for a $2 pickup for something that's this small, that is not going to take up a lot of storage space and is going to be easy to ship, it's a no-brainer, right? And I'm thinking, how many times have I walked past items just like this because I didn't know, right? And I didn't know General was a brand I should be looking for. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's not a Bellow brand for other tools, but this particular tool, it was. Okay, so made in the USA is a good kind of strategy to look for. I'm going to be kind of going through a couple of these brands and looking up some comps on eBay. I picked up while I was out quite a few Craftsman tools, and I actually feel pretty good. Like I can kind of see why people like these. They're definitely heavier duty. These are Craftsman. This is a Craftsman V series, so that's a popular series that's worth something. And then these haven't even done a lot of research yet, but they're VA series. But the nice thing with these is they all have model numbers on them. So you can quickly look them up. And I picked these up for about $1 each. And they're going anywhere from, $4 to $6 each if you can get them in full sets, because I have quite a few of them here that I was able to get that were all Craftsman, some smaller ones. So if you're able to pick these up for that kind of price, you're going to do really well. And again, they don't take up a lot of storage space. Now, as I was digging into research, different size, the way they're shaped, types of ratchets, whether it's deep or not, is all make a difference on the total amount you're going to make. And as I make these videos, I'm going to dig into specific tool type, what types of tools in that category sell the best, what you're looking for. But today's just kind of a general overview of these types of tools. So here's an example of a Matco tool. Now, of course, I got Craftsman here. I didn't get the Matco, but you can see here that just one wrench, combination wrench, sold for $13, $4 shipping. And again, this isn't like blow your mind prices here, but for a single piece that you could easily find at a garage sale or thrift store, it's not bad, especially if you're able to get them for about $1 a piece or a couple dollars. And a lot of times you can buy, it looks like full, toolboxes for a certain price, maybe $50, maybe $100 for a toolbox full of tools. You see several of these in there, the toolbox is paid for, and then you're just making profit. All right, here's a set of vintage Matco tools. And you can see here, somebody's able to put together a whole bunch of them, combination wrench, standard and metric. So this isn't like a complete set of every size. This is just kind of a random assortment of wrenches lotted together. So maybe instead of making $10 each, waiting a long time for them to sell, they're just thrown together in a lot. Maybe someone's looking for a couple of these. And so again, if you could pick up a bunch of them, it's definitely worthwhile. So be on the lookout for Matco. And it's not just wrenches. Again, like I said, I'm going to have specific videos for specific tool types. But I was surprised to see how well screwdrivers sell for. So here is and again, part of it is that these are vintage. You can see these maroon ones here up at the top, those top three. Those seem to be a pretty popular Matco vintage screwdrivers, and they are selling pretty well. I've looked up several comps of those. And then these kind of classic, the orange and yellow, I think my dad actually had some of those. I don't know if they were Matco or not, but they had that same color pattern on them. And so it's not just wrenches, right? It's wrenches, it's screwdrivers, it's hammers, it's power tools, it's saws, it's calipers, like this caliper, right? You can pretty much pick up anything if it's got the right brand on it. Again, here is an example of that Matco kind of maroon hard handle slotted screwdriver. This one screwdriver sold for $16.58, right? You could easily see a big toolbox, a random assortment of toolboxes having one or two of these in here. Or maybe you are able to pick this up for $3 or $4 if somebody knows what they have. If they're trying to charge that much at a garage sale, well, you're probably not going to get any deal at that garage sale or swap meet anyways. But these are definitely something to pick up. And you can see that logo. We got the eagle, it says Matco right on it. And the nice thing with tools is they're often numbered. They tell you what they are, so it's easier to look up comps. Here's some vintage Snap-on breaker bars. So Snap-on is another one of those brands we were talking about. And breaker bars are really nice. They're a little bit longer. It's like a ratcheting wrench set, but it's not right. Like it's solid. These ones got the pivot top, and I might be using some of the wrong phrases here. So those of you tool heads that know, don't judge me. But breaker bars in general seem to do pretty well. I have a breaker bar. It's probably my nicest tool, and it's still a Harbor Freight tool, but it's the sturdiest. So I can imagine that a good Snap-on or a good Craftsman breaker bar, as you can see here, two of them are selling for $36. And you include the shipping on there, easy to ship. The nice thing with these is you're not worrying about anything breaking. Maybe throw some bubble wrap on there, maybe just wrap it in some paper, put it in a box, maybe put it in a padded envelope, depending on what you're doing. So easy to ship. But again, Snap-on is one of those brands we're looking at. Here's a Matco, just combination wrench, just one wrench, right? So Matco is another one of those brands that we're looking at. 17 millimeter combination wrench, $21. That's pretty amazing. And again, USA, see it's got that USA there. So we're looking for that. Now, this is, I think it was Matco Tools. Yeah, so it's Matco Tools. So the prices obviously go up depending on what you're looking at. A lot of times I see power tools, and a lot of times they're just the DeWalt or maybe some Walmart brand ones. But if you can get your hands on one of these Matco Tool actual power drills, look what this sold for. This is a used power drill. And I looked up some that had better pictures, better titles, and they sold for quite a bit more. But, you know, I obviously have probably seen these, but just didn't know what they were. Maybe their price were up. But just knowing you can get this for something like that is pretty nice. And so it's power tools I'm probably going to slowly get into, but there's definitely money to be made there. Some Mac tools. This is another brand that's pretty popular. And as we can see here, somebody took a lot of 42 pieces, and this is just like a miscellaneous lot. It looks like it's got a lot of things in here. And as I was going through, they took close-up pictures on everything, but in the listing, they didn't list what every single thing was. They kind of just took a few pictures, kind of like our Lego video. If you haven't seen our Lego video, you could check that out. But they kind of just took some close-ups of different angles, and then just they're all the same brand. So as you're collecting tools, if you decide not to do them individually, you don't want them sitting around, you can just lot them together, especially if you're buying a big toolbox or you buy somebody out of a whole bunch of them. But yeah, I mean, figure if you paid $1 each for these, or a couple dollars each for these even, you're still making really good money. And look at the pictures on all these. Like whoever's selling these tools, their pictures that they're taking are not like top of the line pictures. So if your pictures are on point, you're gonna stand out. Again, Mac tools. This is a combo wrench. This is a longer one here. As you guys can see, 21 inches. Look, this is $114 for one wrench. Okay, so there's definitely money to be made. Bigger sometimes is better. Again, here is a long handle ratchet. And this is Mac Tools, $46. Well, $63 is 46 British pounds, I think that is. But it was about $63 that this one sold for. So again, big tools can be good if it's the right brand, and always look it up. And the nice thing is, like I said, they show you on there what this is. So if you know what a ratchet is and it says it's 1/2 inch, or if you know the different sizes, there's three sizes pretty much of ratchets, then it's easy to list. You can even throw it on your carpet, I guess, and take a picture if you don't have a light box. But with the photo room and the removing backgrounds, your pictures can come out a lot better than this. Again, miscellaneous, a lot of tools. Now here's an example of somebody taking a lot of the brands we talked about, Snap-on, Mac, and Matco. And this sold for $420. Now, these are more complete sets, right? It looks like they have entire like sections, some missing in the sockets, maybe a couple sizes missing in the wrenches, but it's a more complete, but it's not even the same brand, right? But people are looking for these brands. And this goes to show that you can sell lots of different branded tools as long as they're coming from good brands. And it's not just wrenches. We'll do more. I think I'm gonna do a whole video on like hammers and saws, but I saw quite a few of these Proto. Proto's another tool brand that I would say is pretty valuable. I saw a lot of people. I was reading some internet forums trying to learn more about tools, and this is a brand that comes up over and over and over again. So keep an eye out for these. And I would have never thought hammers, right? So we've got this one sold for $62. And again, a lot of them. So we've got these different brands. Plum, another good brand that I've seen. Proto, Stanley, these are vintage, but $61. So you might be able to find, a couple of these, or maybe one person at a estate sale. They just got a bunch of hammers up on their wall or in a drawer. You could say, how much for the hammers? I don't know, $10 for the box. Okay, so when you can lot them all together like this, $61, again, you don't have to worry about anything breaking and shipping. So this is a great deal. Let me know what you want me to talk about next in my next video on this series. So put it in the comments. Is there a specific type of tool, a specific brand you'd like me to do? But in the meantime, I'm going to be replacing my tool set, I feel like, and listing my tools on eBay. And when it sells, well, I'll be sad, I guess, but hopefully I'm buying enough tools that I can have an entire set myself paid for, and they're so easy to store and easy to keep track of. So I'm really excited about this. Let me know, like I said, in the comments below, what are some tools you'd like to see next? What are some brands you'd like me to talk about? And I will do the research. And if you are an expert, if you've had some great sales on tools before, if you know what you're talking about, again, let me know in the comments. I'd love to meet up with you. You can talk to us on Instagram, Pure Hustle Podcast on Instagram. Send me some information and we could definitely chat about it and make this video series even better. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Peace.